We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. And do not forget to ring the notification bell if you want to support this independent, national, rebel outpost of a college football channel. We are the Rebel Outpost. If you want to support us through a donation, help us keep the lights on and grow the channel, just hit that $ where you make your comments, and I will get to your super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome, everybody, into the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. Tonight is a very special night here at College Football's Peek Around the Corner. Greg the Gold presents CFP Final Predictions. Yes. CFP Final Predictions. This is a movie theater. This is not the Holy Smokes Theater. You can see the light coming off the projection machine. This is not the Holy Smokes Theater. This is the movie theater that is kind of next to the Holy Smokes Theater. I wish somebody would take the time and draw up an artistic map of Loserville City. I wish somebody would be able to do that. I don't have the ability. Maybe I can get AI to do it, but I think it'd be too complicated for AI to get it done. You know, we got the Holy Smokes Theater, we've got the airport, we've got the movie theater, we've got an any given Saturday sports book. I mean, we got a big old community here at Peek Around the Corner. So I do want to, Congratulations to the undisputed 1960 national champions, the Missouri Tigers. Well, I got a problem with that. The Minnesota Golden Gophers are your 1960 national champions. They were the AP number one. They were the UPI number one. They were everybody's number one. And suddenly Missouri and Eric Schmidt takes it from the Gophers. I say no. No. We're not going to take it down inside our football stadium. Okay, so obviously we're having a little bit of fun today. We're going to do our CFP final college football playoff predictions. And let me know how wrong I got it once again, but we're not going to get it wrong. We're not going to get it wrong. Jason Spangler, I'll make it, Greg. Just tell me what you want in it. All right. Send me a DM, Jason, and then I'll just make a bunch of comments, kind of how I want the map. You know, we've got Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue, and this studio sits on the corner of that. And so I will make a description on how I visualize the city. And then you go to work, Jason. I thank you very much. We'll see how it all works out. It's Loserville City. And the studio sits on the corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. And the mayor's office, which of course I am the re-elected mayor of Loserville City, is off somewhere in Loserville City. All right. Jimmy Austin. Jimmy, I got a bone to pick with. No, I don't have a bone to pick with the Ducks. Not you all personally. But I'm very agitated. I'm very agitated about the preseason on 3 preseasons All-American list. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Jimmy Austin, every August. Greg the Gold comes down from the North Pole with all of his predictions, and then he disappears for an entire year. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ole Miss, come on. We're not splitting that thing 3 ways, I can tell you that. We're not going to split that thing 3 ways because, unfortunately, that's the last national championship we're ever going to see here at Minnesota. As long as yours truly is still above ground, because I am the re-elected mayor of Loserville City. We've got an interesting show today. The playoff committee met. The playoff committee met today, and no, well, they did not meet in person, right? It was a virtual meeting. It was a virtual meeting, and we had a report from Josh Pate yesterday, and we did a video this morning that On 3 and Heather Denich talked about the possibility that there would be this 20-team playoffs with 4 play-in games. Part of the discussion, maybe there would be an official presentation. Well, only in college football can a bunch of people get together again and not talk about it. Not talk about the format. What are we doing? What are we doing? Pete Thamel. Sources. The CFP Management Committee call today was mostly procedural and administratively focused. What does that mean? I mean, what does that even mean? There wasn't much discussion about future formats. And there was just a brief mention, no discussion about a 20-team, 16 plus 4 in playing games. The idea faces a lot of headwinds, one of them being the Big Ten, and probably the Big... unless you want to talk about it in a phone call or a super chat, we're not going to talk much about the college football playoff format, because we did that in an episode yesterday, in a live show yesterday, in an episode today. We've got other things to talk about. We've got Greg the Gold college football playoff predictions to talk about, in which I'm probably going to nail the whole thing correctly. All right? What you guys are going to be a witness tonight is an absolute brilliance on display. But we'll get to that in a moment. So I don't know. They got together on a virtual call, and it was like an administrative call. Like they did a roll call, and they introduced each other, the new members of the band, and they didn't really. There was some reporting that there is some optimism in regards to how much money going to 24 teams, 23 games, how much that will bring in. It sounds like there are some people out there who do that for the professional work. Some consultants do believe that the money would be large enough to go ahead and get it done. In our episode, we're not going to talk much about this. I'm going to finish this up real quick. But in an episode earlier today, if you missed it, go ahead and watch it after the live show. I can understand why ESPN, now we reported at Peek Around the Corner, episode 523, we reported that that it was ESPN that was pushing, that came up with this idea. We reported that on episode 523. After we released the episode, 10 minutes later, Ross Dellinger reported that this was ESPN's idea. And I said in the episode we had done some poking and prodding. The chatter behind the curtain told us it was ESPN that was pushing this idea. I understand why ESPN was pushing it. I get their motivation. But I don't think we have to go through that again. I understand the motivation. But I don't understand SCC's motivation for supporting it. And maybe they are not. Because Pete Thamel said there are strong headwinds. And it may not just be the Big 10, the Big 12, ACC. There's actually people in the SEC that wants to go to 24. Now, there are some in the SEC that want to go to 24 and reintroduce automatic qualifiers. But that hasn't been reported yet. I don't think we've gotten there yet. But buckle up and brace for impact when those discussions start to be socialized. So anyways, that's all I'm going to talk about. I'm all college football playoff out unless you guys want to talk about it in a phone call or a super chat. Super chat, $2 holler, Helmer Hennison. Hammer Hennison, only national championship will be recognized by conference. Only national championship will be recognized by conference championship. I don't know what that means, Hammer Hennison. I do apologize. Please explain to me, and you do not have to give another super chat. Just put in the comments and explain to me what this super chat, I really don't know what this means. Look, guys, if you haven't noticed yet, I'm not the brightest bulb in the fridge. I know where every refrigerator is in every building that I go into, but I'm not that sharp. So you really, on your comments and your super chats and your phone calls, you got to really make it clear, because I'm not caught up. I'm not hip, although I look hip tonight. But, I'm not with it. I am not with it. But I do appreciate the $2 holler, Hammer Henderson. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. And we've got a very kind super chat from the Evil Badger. We got to talk, Evil Badger. We got to talk. This Evil Badger will have a better record versus the spread than Greg the Freezer. That might be true. That might be true, Evil Badger. If you can have a winning percentage of 63, 64% against the spread, you might have a better winning percentage than Greg the Gold. I'm shooting for 60%, 61%. Maybe 62. And if you can go above that, congratulations, Evil Badger. But we got to talk here, Badger. My friend, Ryan Willie. My good, dear friend, Ryan Willie. The legend. The original. An incredible supporter of this YouTube channel and others. Really nice guy. Really passionate about the Badgers. He's the type of guy that we want in our PATC family. And thank God we got him in our family. However, I got to tell it like it is, a peek around the corner. The Wisconsin Badgers football team is in a little bit of trouble. Their left tackle out for the season. Their left guard still hasn't practiced. The starting offense, the starting left side of the offensive line is gone. I'm a little worried for you. I am a little worried for you, Evil Badger. I'm sorry that I had to deliver this news, but it's been reported out there. Buckshot Greg. Greg, you need some gold glasses. I've got some gold glasses. I had them on. These are my gold glasses. Right there. Gold, gold, gold everywhere. Gold everywhere. But I can't see anything. So I can't wear them. All right. Okay. Thank you, Evil Badger. Thank you for the $5 holler. Thank you to Hammer Henderson. I appreciate all of you so very much. Let's do a quick roll call because we got some things to talk about before we get to the main story, which is Greg the Gold's college football playoff predictions, and I want to hear from you all. I want to hear from you all what you think. We got Mama Duck. We got Azon the Kid. Rock, Chalk, Jayhawk. Azon the Kid is one of the original PATC family members. Thank you, Azon. Buckeye Greg is in the house. Jason Spangler. We got Fight On Jose. We've got the Gator Maynor, Kenneth Maynor, Caleb Ramirez. Deadeye Yo, Deadeye. We've got the Duck, Jimmy Austin. Nick, the Virginia Tech Hokie. Hello, Sickles. Preston from North Carolina. He's already given me an elbow. And we just barely started. Coy's in the house. Go Rams is here. The Architect. Charlie Atwood, team of 24. We got the BYU football is in the house. Great for Trojan. Bracket Cat. We've got the Nitwit in the house. Penn State Nittany Lions is this year's playoffs. Might be a great surprise pick. Look, I have treated Penn State and North Carolina State horribly. I have predicted them to do great things, and they've not done it because I was Greg the Cooler back then. So I really feel hesitant about Penn State and North Carolina State because I've done so much damage in the past. All right. Who else is here? Who else is in the chat? MG Sooner, Jared Jones. And if I missed you, I apologize. Only national champions will be recognized. Conference champions will disappear, no matter the importance of our conferences. I don't know if that is... thank you, Hammer Henderson, for the super chat. And thank you for clearing that up for me. I'm sorry. I'm not the brightest bulb in the refrigerator. I think there's still going to be conference champions. Who's ever number one out of your... we have to have a conference. Well, the way the playoffs are currently written, for the first time ever, starting this year, it was a change. The SEC conference champion gets an automatic berth in the playoffs. The Big Ten champion gets an automatic berth in the playoffs. The Big 12 conference champion gets an automatic berth in the playoffs. The ACC champion gets an automatic berth in the playoffs. So if we have a situation in which Duke goes 7-5 during the season, but they go 6-2 in the ACC, and they go and they win the ACC championship game, they're in the playoffs as an 8-5 Duke Blue Devil team. So there's going to be somebody recognized as your conference champion. We're not going to have conference championship game champions, but we are going to have conference champions. I think. Of course, all of this is who knows, but I think I still think we're going to have them. The other Gygax. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. I tell you, the elbows are being thrown tonight. The elbows are being thrown tonight, and they seem to be all coming my way. But you know what? I asked for it. I keep bragging about how I'm going to do all these wonderful predictions and all this. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. So I have it coming. I have it coming. But soon, it is all going to flip. This year, year 5, Greg the Gold. Daniel Gygax, Super Chat. Greg's predictions help me find out who not to pick. Prove me wrong, Greg. Oh my God. Oh my God. Daniel Gygax blew everybody out of the water last year. He definitely is your world champion in college football, picking against the spread. And it sounds like he might have used my picks to help him launch into his victory season of last year. Well, Daniel Gygax, I know you're saying I need to prove you wrong. All I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is this. You're not going to have to wait very long, Mr. Gygax, Mr. Mountaineer. You're not going to have to wait very long because I'm focused. Week 0, I'm going to dominate. Week 0, I'm going to dominate. I've been laser focused on these games. Have you been Daniel Gygax? Do you know who the third string guard is at Virginia? Left guard? No, you don't, Gygax. No, you don't. Just don't ask me who it is because I don't. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, Mr. Gygax, you better keep an eye on what I'm doing. You got to hope. Daniel Gygax, the world champion, the defending, undisputed world champion. You got to hope, you got to pray that I do my predictions before you all do yours. So you know that you have the template of a winning week against the spread. Now, usually I do my predictions. You guys do them on Friday nights. I get mine done like on a Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, because I don't need much time. In other words, I wanted to get it over with. But anyways, this year's different. Other guy, Daniel Gygax, thank you for the $5 holler. I appreciate it. Very kind, sir. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. We've got Coy, 1 gifted membership. Holy smokes. Coy is being incredibly generous. And he's given a gift membership to Arn Kriegbaum. Arn Kriegbaum, when you get an opportunity, please say thank you to Coy in the chat for his incredible generosity, delivering yet another membership to a family member. Thank you, Coy, 34. Very kind. Absolutely very kind of you. Both of you are officially knighted. Officially knighted. Cloak and Dagger college football. That means, Arn, you can go to our library of episodes, watch all the episodes, 523 episodes. That's open to everybody. Or you can watch the 69 episodes of Early P Cloak and Dagger, which are member only episodes. So thank you, Corey. Appreciate it. Appreciate the generosity. Helping us keep the lights on and grow the channel. We've got Hammer Hennison. Hammer Hennison. Again, I'm not angry at you, Oregon Ducks, but I guess you can call it resentment. Gopher resentment toward a Duck. It's not anger. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, but I'm taking it out on you. We'll talk about it later. Hammer Hennison, how many Ducks are happy with their Big Ten Conference Championship? $2 holla. I would be ecstatic. If the Gophers, and I think Mike in the chat room can attest to it, if the Golden Gophers ever won a Big Ten championship game, Big Ten championship, when I'm alive, if it happens when I'm alive, you guys would not hear the end of it. This city that we have created, this college football city, which is called Loserville City, it would not be called Loserville City anymore. I would not be the re-elected mayor of Loserville City. You guys would not hear the end of it. I would not be the lovable loser anymore. I would be the grading winner. So hopefully the Ducks are happy with the Big Ten championship. Now I know they want the national championship, and they could get it done this year because they're absolutely loaded. Absolutely loaded. That backfield, Dante Mohr, the defense, Amari Washington, defensive tackle, Ungo Ongole coming in from the defensive end, Koi Pirich. You know what? I'm not going to wait. Hold on a second. I gotta get this off my chest. Hold on, everybody. I apologize. We do have an interesting program. I have a grievance. I have a Golden Gopher grievance that a lot of you are not going to be interested in. So I do apologize, but I just got to, again, I'm not blaming the Ducks. However, on 2026 preseason All-American team. All right? All right. So I'm looking at this, right? And I see edge rusher Colin Simmons, Texas Longhorns. No question about it. About 12 and a half sacks last year. Spent a lot of time in the other team's backfield. And then I look at Dylan Stewart, South Carolina. Edge rusher. Dylan Stewart is a freak athlete. Dylan Stewart is going to be a first round draft pick. But Dylan Stewart ain't no Anthony Smith of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. It's not even close. Not even close. Anthony Smith production is 2 levels higher than Dylan Stewart. Okay, so, all right. I guess production doesn't mean that much. All right, Dylan Stewart. Okay, all right. And then you've got Corey Pirich here. Preseason All-American safety for the Oregon Ducks. Look, Corey Pirich is from Minnesota. He played football for the Gophers for 2 years. Seems like a good kid, had some issues last year. I hope he does really good for Oregon. I know he's going to make some big plays for Oregon. He's too good of an athlete not to make a couple of big plays for Oregon. And I really do not blame him for transferring. In fact, PJ Fleck said in public after the season was over that they knew he was going to leave halfway during the season. He had some issues. But here's the thing. He's a preseason All-American from On3. When he was a freshman, he had an absolutely brilliant season for the Gophers. Brilliant. Brilliant. And after that season, he got mentioned. He was a second team, Big Ten, blah, blah, blah. He got some good ink. He got some good positive ink. He wasn't like this, but he got some positive ink. His second year at Minnesota, Coy Pirich absolutely bombed. Terrible. Led all Big Ten secondary players in missed tackles. Special teams, he was absolutely brutal. His head was not in it. Look at his PFF grades. Go ahead, Google it. Go look at his PFF grades. I mean, it was rock bottom. Every game. The other captains of the Gophers got in with him because they were saying, what is going on? He was terrible. He transfers to Oregon. Good for him. He gets a reset. He's getting a lot of money. He can challenge for a Big Ten championship, national championship. But now he's a preseason All-American after a terrible season. And he only got some good ink after his brilliant season as a freshman for Minnesota. Yeah, you know what? I got a problem with this. I got a problem with this. And I'm going to tell you something. Us Golden Gophers, we are all fired up for 2026. We are all fired up. So buckle up and brace for him. We're not taking this back seat anymore. Those days are over. Hayden Mohr. Remember the name Hayden Mohr. Hayden space Moore. Hayden Mohr. Remember the name, wide receiver of the Golden Gophers. Kerry Brown, a brilliant safety for the Gophers. Played the last 2 years alongside Coy Pirich. Was like 5 times the player that Coy Pirich was last year, and he can't even get on a second team All Big Ten. I guess it's the brand name, I guess. All right, I'm done worrying about it. It's the name on the jersey, Greg. I get it. Oh, I get it, MBM. Now I get it. Now, he was terrible last year. How do I know? Because we talked about it every week. You all kept poking because I hyped him up. I hyped him up, especially after the first season. Go check his PFF grades. Absolutely incredible. I think he has some issues. I think, whatever. He's a young man trying to figure out life, and it's just bottom out. But you can't put him on a preseason All-American after he bottomed out after his second year, just because he goes to a great program like Oregon. I mean, hopefully Coy Pirich keeps his starting job, because I've heard some things on that. But anyways, all right. I'm done complaining. I am done complaining. All right. Okay. Excuse me. We got Christopher Hooter, $5 holler. Christopher Hooter, $5 holler. Conference champions to be determined by the regular season, which may not be straightforward. That is correct. Playing game of lower tiers will replace the conference championship. Helmer might be on to something. He might be. It doesn't sound like that's getting much support, according to Pete Thamel and Ross Dellinger. Major headwinds, they're calling it. So I think that ESPN idea is going to fall at the wayside. But we'll find out hopefully more sometime this fall. That playoff committee's got to get together. They got to make some decisions here. Or we'll stay at 12 for another year. But the Army of 24, do not give up. Do not give up. Thank you so much, Christopher Hooter. Appreciate it. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, it is Greg the Gold. Riza Velli. Yes, sir, it is Greg the Gold. And I'm going to show you. Mama Duck, Greg. I'm going to... Look, when you guys see my predictions, I think every one of you are going to have a moment of, this is the year of Greg the Gold. Gopher Mike says Coy might be great, but it was awful last year. So how many times does a player play awful and then becomes an All-American selection the next season? Only to a former Gopher. Only to a former Golden Gopher would that ever happen. Okay. All right. I'm done complaining. Let's get through some of these news stories here. Again, looking at the week 0 schedule. We're not ready to do our picks against the spread. We're not ready yet. We'll get to it. North Carolina, TCU, San Jose State, USC. First look at Gary Patterson's defense. North Carolina, Billy Edwards. Them on blue. Ship, the great wide receiver. I mean, North Carolina does have some guys coming back. But TCU is going to be a handful for North Carolina. North Carolina State and Virginia. I am all geared up for this game. C.J. Bailey. Bo Pribula. I don't know. North Dakota State's first game as an FBS football team. Sacramento State, first game as an FBS football team. And then Hawaii and Stanford, the rematch of last year. New Mexico State, Florida State. How impressive is the Seminoles going to be? Can Ashton Daniels make everybody feel more comfortable that he's QB1? I think Chroma is going to have a big game that night. Ullman Chroma, Florida State, Deuce Robinson. Memphis at UNLV, and no disrespect to all the other games listed here, but Memphis UNLV might be probably is the most important game when it comes to the playoffs in week 0. UNLV, Dan Mullen, Again, we almost picked UNLV to be the G6 representative in the playoffs, but we couldn't quite get there because of the defense. Now it sounds like the quarterback situation is not settled quite yet, which is a surprise to me. Anyways, that is week 0. We'll go through those games before we get to it. Kevin Jennings' injury. You want to talk about SMU. You want to talk about SMU. A lot of people have SMU as the number 2 team or the number 3 team in the ACC predictions. Louisville, SMU, Louisville, behind Miami. Rhett Lashley announced that Kevin Jennings will be limited with a right finger injury. More on the timeline for return, and Ty Hawkins taking first team reps for SMU. Now, when you read the article, It sounds like they expect Kevin Jennings back in a couple of weeks. In a couple of weeks. Well, in a couple of weeks. In 3 weeks, the season starts. We'll see how that goes with SMU. Might be a little bit of a worry there at SMU at the beginning of the season. ACC leadership. Now, okay. Let me take you back earlier today. I made a post. Now, just to clear everything up for everybody, to be put on record, I received 4 different DMs, and I saw comments on X. One of the DMs I received was a message board, a picture of a message board, and they were talking about the ACC board of directors and how none of the leadership is Clemson, Florida State, Miami, and I think North Carolina or something like that. And I had a bunch of comments sent to me saying, is this a way to keep Florida State out? Is this a way to keep Clemson out because they're going to leave, so they don't want them in the leadership position? And I did not comment. The first one that came to me, I did not make a comment. I was busy. The second one, the third one, the fourth one. So eventually I made a comment here. ACC Board of Directors leadership is done mostly by rotation. There are some caveats, such as if a director leaves their position at their university, and scheduled rotation can be adjusted. Leadership is not selected due to a grand conspiracy. Now, there is a couple of people who are members of our PATC community who are in the chat almost every single day, which I'm very grateful for. They are a couple of people who send me a DM, and I'm not going to say who they are, but they were just asking. They were just saying, is this a conspiracy? Is this the ACC conspiring against the Florida State Seminoles, Clemson, and all that stuff? So I put up my comment that this is by rotation. And here it is. Leadership and executive committee. While every skills school has a permanent seat, the board elects internal leadership positions on a rotational basis. You serve a few years, you leave, and there might be some leadership that leaves earlier than scheduled because they might leave their position at their university. So after I sent that, it was like not a big deal. I mean, I was just trying to clear up. Well, I guess some people took offense to that. I got a couple of tweets here from Rope Wizards saying there's no need to mischaracterize what he posted. And it was immaculate. Former friend of the program. And I guess he went after me. Not a big deal. He's free to go after me. But I later made sure everybody knew. Yikes, I did not post my comment on the ACC Board of Directors based upon anything Immaculate said or did not say about this issue. It was based on 4 DMs, I received on the story, in which 3 of them thought it was conspiracy based. I don't read Immaculate posts. No one sent me his post. So I had no idea that Immaculate had I still don't even know really what he said. But I guess he's really angry with me because he thought I was attacking him. Immaculate, I had no idea what he said about it. I still don't know what you said about it. So I don't know what else to say. There's a lot of people commenting on this. And they're in the message boards. They're on Twitter. Mohn's talked about it. A lot of people are talking about it. So I just made a comment saying those leadership positions go through a rotation. And there are caveats to it. That's all I meant by it. So everybody settle down. It's like sometimes, look, I just a rule of thumb. I take what I do here seriously. I'm sure Immaculate does what he ever does, takes it seriously, whatever. But I don't take myself too seriously. People can't be so wound up. All I did was make a post, and now people are sending me posts about other people attacking me because all I did was make a factual post. That's all I did. So everybody relax. Thank you, Kenneth Meaner. It's like I didn't even know Immaculate said anything. I don't read his posts. I'm not bothering him. And yet, I tell you, it's kind of unwind yourself a little bit. Yeah, look, Rock and Rant, I wouldn't stress too much about the immaturity coming from somebody who blocked me when I thought we were friends because I was put an I under one of his comments just to be able to follow it later. Look, we were friends. I thought we were friends. And then he went after me and I got the receipts. I don't want to bury the guy. People enjoy him. That's great. He's a smart dude. I enjoyed his phone calls. But I'm not reading his posts. I'm not acting on his posts. There's a lot of people talking about it, and I just put a factual statement out there. That's all I did. This is happening quite a bit. Like anytime I breathe, people are so wound up. But he went after me because the first time he went after me, that was it. Like, we were cool until I used my X account. When I use my X account, I talk about more things than college football. I do. Once in a while, I talk about something. And people agree or disagree with me, just like when I talk college football. And I spent about 3 days pounding on Vladimir Putin. I went after Vladimir Putin for like 3 days. It's my account. I do not have it verified. I don't make any money. People disagree with what I say all the time on it. And they're still my friends. But I don't I pounded on Vladimir Putin and Immaculate asked me if I could notify him the day that I would stop talking about things other than college football on my X account. And I said I use my X account on anything I want to talk about. It's my personal X account. It's not college football peek around the corner X account. And then he just let me have it. It just, woof. And that was it. That was the end of it. That's why he's not on this program anymore, because he just used bad language in my DM. He just exploded. So I don't know. I do have this show's not for everybody. I have a grating personality. None of you like my singing. None of you like my dancing. And none of you like my picks against the spread until this year. But anyways, that's enough of that. Okay, so I just wanted to clear that up. I wasn't taking a shot. Moen has talked about it. I wasn't taking a shot at Moen. I was just putting an accurate statement out there. Moen's not upset with me. I'm just saying whatever. All right. Putin, Greg the Gold, aiming for meet the press. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Thank you for the $2 holler. Appreciate it, Christopher Hooter. I shouldn't have mentioned Vladimir Putin on this channel. I apologize. Kenneth Meaner. $5 holler. Greg, your fashion game and your singing is immaculate. Thank you very much, Kenneth Meaner. I do not have a fashion game other than when I'm Greg the Gold. And really, I should not be wearing this. The Little General got this for me. So anytime I would have a winning record against the spread last year, I would wear this on our Aftermath show. But unfortunately, I only wore it a couple of times in 13 weeks or 14 weeks last year. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I barely... So I'm going to take this opportunity. Not that I'm worried, but I'm going to take this opportunity to wear this before we start making our official predictions. Yeah, so that's that. Thank you. Thank you, Kenneth Maynard. I appreciate it. I appreciate the super chats. I really do. And again, going back to the super chat talks, because the gentleman we were just talking about went after me because I received super chats. I do appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the membership. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the phone calls. I appreciate you watching the show. I appreciate you disagreeing with me. What a boring show. If people actually agreed with me, it would be terrible. I appreciate that there are fans across the country that watch this show. I appreciate the fact that even though this is a small channel, it is growing and we get a lot of viewership for the size of the program. I did make a decision from day one, well, not day one, after year one, I made a decision not to do any interview. Well, I made the decision on day one not to do any interviews with people in the business, even though I would have that opportunity, because I wanted the show to be about you. You call in, and I wanted to keep my independence. I made the decision after year one not to have any advertising. There are college football YouTube channels all over the place that have great, they have the emblems of the companies that are paying. They bring. I'm not talking about the YouTube advertising. I'm talking about sponsorships, and they're doing great, and they should do it, and that's wonderful. And I don't think anybody should rip on them for doing that. It's a way to make a little bit of money. These college football YouTube guys and gals are working so hard. This is not easy. They're working hard every day, and they're doing all that, and they're making money. They're making enough money just to keep going, right, with this. I decided not to do that. And we've had a lot of opportunities to bring on FanDuel and to bring on all these sponsorships, and I've said no every single time. So when Immaculate and others get on me for accepting super chats and call me a grifter, again, it's like, and I've told this story before when I told the Little General that she just started laughing because she knows I've turned down money on this program. Look, this show's not for everybody. There are people really, really, really mad at me. They're always going to be mad at me, and that's the way it is. And if I get any of you mad at me and I didn't know what I did, I will be the first one to apologize. All right? So just let me know that you're really angry with me, and I will apologize, and we'll get over it. All right? Let me clean this up here. We're having some buffering issues. Hold on. We are having buffering issues. I hope I can fix this. That was getting pretty bad. I don't know if you guys saw the buffering, but I saw it in here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Now we're going to go, we're going to get into this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into this. Thank you, Jay Chapman. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mama Duck. Listen, I'm tired of being a loser. I'm tired of being a loser. Do you know how embarrassing it is to have a national college football YouTube channel, and you can't ever get over 50% winning percentage against the spread? Like never, ever, 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 never. It's embarrassing. I've embarrassed myself. And it's a stigma that you guys, Bull fans, 247 Core, Old Dad, Bracket Cat, Daryl Runs with Scissors, Kenneth Maynor, who's been here for a long time. Kenneth, it's a stigma that you guys have to carry, that you're part of the PATC family, and your host can't get anything right. Well, it all changes this year. When you come into the chat room, when you come into the studio, now you're going to be with the winner. That's what's going to happen. And right now, the college football playoff predictions, the final one. This is where we wrap it all up. We're going to wrap it all up. Here we go. PATC. Let me know how wrong I got it once again. But I think you're going to be eating your words. Greg the Cooler or Greg the Gold? This is my top 12 seeds. These are the teams that go to the playoffs. Number 1, the Texas Longhorns. No, I'm not a Miami Hurricane fan, Yogi Buck. The Miami Hurricanes are as evil as any other Florida team. Any team that's not called the Golden Gophers. Texas Longhorns are number 1. The Ohio State Buckeyes, number 2. Notre Dame Fighting Irish, number 3. The Miami Hurricanes, number 4. The Texas Tech Red Raiders, yes. Even with Will Hammond as the quarterback, the Red Raiders, 5th. The Oregon Ducks, 6th. The LSU Tigers, yes. Lane Kiffin's first year as the head coach. They're in the playoffs. This is not the Holy Smokes Theater. This is the old-time movie theater in Loserville City. Not the Holy Smokes Theater. LSU Tigers, number 7. The Georgia Bulldogs. Don Scruggs is not happy with me. Wendy Scruggs is not happy with me. None of the Georgia Bulldogs are happy with me. The Georgia Bulldogs are number 8. The Indiana Hoosiers are number 9. Now, a lot of Hoosiers are not going to be happy with me. What are you doing, Greg? What are you doing? We just won the Big Ten championship. We just won the national championship. And you got us at number 9? You got us going on the road. Holy smokes. USC number 10, as I said earlier in the spring. I said this in the spring. USC Trojans going to the playoffs is your Greg the Gold 5-star lock. Ole Miss is going to squeeze on in. Now, there are going to be two other teams that are going to be right with Ole Miss. The Louisville Cardinals and the BYU Cougars. Ole Miss plays Louisville to begin the season. So I think Ole Miss is going to have that advantage. I think Ole Miss is going to win that game. So I think a 9-3 Ole Miss will be picked over a 10-2 Louisville Cardinals. So Louisville quite isn't going to make it. Now, it's up to BYU. BYU Cougars. Superman Bear Bachmeier versus my Heisman Trophy winner, at least going into week 0, Trinidad Chambliss. My goodness. My goodness. I went with Ole Miss. I love the BYU. I don't want to say it. I think they're going to come up a little short. But they're one heck of a football team. It just breaks my heart even talking about this. It breaks my heart even talking about this. Really. And number 12 is the New Mexico Lobos. I think they are going to be the best G6 team in the land. And we did a breakdown on them. I think there's going to be enough issues with UNLV's defense. I think the American is going to beat up on each other. I don't think Boise State is going to... I got San Diego State really close to New Mexico. I've got Western Michigan really close to New Mexico. But I got New Mexico at number. That defense is going to be the best defense in the G6. The best defense in the... Rock and rant, Greg the Gold has LSU very overrated. Top 15, yes. Top 7, no way. No siree. Sam Levitt. Okay. So... Texas Tech versus New Mexico, 5 versus 12. Georgia versus Indiana, 8 versus 9. Oregon, Ole Miss, 6 versus 11. LSU, USC, 7 versus 10. Texas Tech and New Mexico. Is the Big 12 going to win their second playoff game in their history? A second Big 12 team. Are they going to be able to get it done? Yes, we got the Red Raiders advancing on, playing the Miami Hurricanes in the second round. Georgia against Indiana. The game's at Georgia. The game is at Georgia. Georgia should be able to win this game. Now, last year, an 8-9 game, Alabama, number 9, defeated Oklahoma, number 8. The 9th seed defeated the 8th seed on the road. And we think that is going to happen again. The Indiana Hoosiers going to beat the Georgia Bulldogs. And again, questions are going to arise. Exactly what is Georgia trying to accomplish on offense? Who is their wide receiver number one? Why can't they get a high-level guy and develop him? Why are they so clunky on offense? They're good. They're going to beat teams up. But in the end, when they go against a high-level team, the Indiana Hoosiers are going to have more answers than the Georgia Bulldogs. Oregon versus Ole Miss. Dante Mohr versus Trinidad Chambliss. Woo! Oregon, the Ducks, they get it done. They win a playoff game in impressive fashion. The Oregon Ducks will play the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the second round. LSU Tigers versus the USC Trojans. Who's going to get it done? Lincoln Riley versus Lane Kiffin. Jason Spangler, Greg is 0-3 so far. Wow. Bam! LSU Tigers. They defeat USC. Great season for Lincoln Riley. Got the team into the playoffs. Got a great high school recruiting class coming on in. Second round is going to be the Miami Hurricanes, 4th seed, versus the Red Raiders, 5th seed. Number 1 seed, Texas Longhorns, versus 9th seed, Indiana Hoosiers. We got the 3rd seed, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, versus 6th seed, Oregon Ducks. We got the 2nd seed, the Ohio State Buckeyes, versus the 7th seed, the LSU Tigers. Miami, Texas Tech. Defense. But Darian Mensah can make more plays than Will Hammond. The Miami Hurricanes go back to the semifinals. They made it all the way to the national championship. Mario Cristobal does it again. They go to the semifinals. The Miami Hurricanes going to face the winner of the Longhorns and the Indiana Hoosiers. Now, you've got Sarkisian, and there's a lot of pressure on him, right? There is a lot of pressure on him. If he can't do it with this roster, but he's got to look across the football field, and he's got to be looking at Kirk Cignetti. I do think the Longhorns get it done. The Longhorns beat Indiana in a classic. Sarkisian gets over the hump. And I think people are going to be looking at Indiana and going, Cignetti is the real deal, Holyfield. If you're not thinking that by now, I don't know what to tell you. But Indiana is going to be coming back to the playoffs quite frequently as long as Cignetti's got his roll on. Texas Longhorns versus the Miami Hurricanes in the semifinals. Notre Dame, Oregon. That Notre Dame defense, number 1 in the land after the regular season is over. Oregon's offense, number 1, 2, or 3 in the land after the regular season is over. Dante Mohr versus C.J. Carr. I'm going to give the advantage to the Oregon Ducks. Why? I think Oregon has more of a variety on offense that is going to go up against that incredible defense of Notre Dame. And I think Notre Dame's offense isn't quite going to have the weapons. And I'm mainly talking about the backfield. Oregon plays the winner of the Ohio State Buckeyes and the LSU Tigers. Now, Lane Kiffin, incredible successful season. He's got the LSU Tigers in the playoffs, even though Rock and Rat and others do not believe it's going to happen. Well, it happened. It happened. LSU's the 7th seed. Lane Kiffin has been opening his mouth up about the Buckeyes and the Big Ten, saying, well, the Big Ten, they don't have those, the atmosphere and everything, blah, blah, blah. The LSU Tigers, very good season under Lane Kiffin's first season, comes to a thumping end. The Buckeyes roll over the LSU Tigers. Ohio State versus Oregon. Texas versus Miami. And now we got the semifinal. Miami, Texas. All of these rosters are absolutely stacked. It's going to come down to who is more healthy, who's fresh, who's ready to go, who can take the pressure. I think this is it. I think this is where the legend of Arch Manning gets cemented. The Longhorns defeat Miami in a classic. Arch Manning makes all the right throws, all the right plays. Raleek Brown, Hollywood Smothers, the incredible backfield, Colin Simmons, the Longhorns just get by the Miami Hurricanes. Oregon, Ohio State. Buckeyes got the Ducks in the Big Ten championship game, and I think they get them again in the playoffs. The Longhorns versus the Buckeyes in the championship game. Now, in my way too early college football playoff predictions, if you go take a look at it, I predicted the Longhorns to win it all. I do believe, and then I switched it to the Buckeyes in my really official way too early prediction. So I've already do-si-doed once on this. Ohio State is your national champion. They defeat the Longhorns 38-37 in a classic game for the ages. Julian Sayin, Arch Manning. There it is. Greg the Cooler or Greg the Goal. Let me know what you're thinking. But here at Peek Around the Corner, we got the Ohio State Buckeyes defeating the Texas Longhorns in the national championship game. And I think the Longhorns are the biggest threat to the Buckeyes. And then I think it's Miami. I think Oregon, Notre Dame is the next tier. I think Notre Dame's offense is going to get stopped in the playoffs at some point. They're going to roll through the season. They're going to have a loss. They're going to be the 3rd seed. But I think it's the Buckeyes, the Longhorns, and the Miami Hurricanes. The Longhorns, the Miami Hurricanes, I believe, are the real threat. But I got the Buckeyes. The Ohio State Buckeyes are your national champions. They're going to be your Big Ten champions. They got a very difficult schedule. I think they're going to show their mettle. I think they're going to show their brilliance. I think they're going to show their diversity. Their running game, Now, the only question really on the Buckeyes, the only question that they have one Achilles heel, possible Achilles heel, and that is the offensive line. Other than that, this team is absolutely... Bo Jackson is getting a run for his money in camp. Bo Jackson. That's how deep the Buckeyes are. They're deep and they're great. And they have a great coaching staff. That is my prediction. Let me know how wrong I got it once again. Yogi Buck, Florida State, and not Greg's playoffs, so you can say they still have a chance. I'm stunned. Big Ten winning a playoff. Who could have seen this coming? Like an icy wind reaching out from the grave. Wow. Josh Hoover is Indiana's quarterback. TCU. Gold Black 45. I think the Buckeyes play in the first round. Oregon wins the Big Ten. Cranky Tiger throws an elbow. Cranky Tiger throws an elbow. Condolences to my Buckeye friends. Here's the big question. Will the Red Raiders even score a point against Miami? But they're going to win that first round game. The Red Raiders are going to win that first round game. They need... Look, the Big 12 needs to win a playoff game. Some Big 12 team needs to win a playoff game this year. And I get it, Will Hammond, and we don't know much about Will Hammond. He looked good. He looked good last year. The time that he played before he got injured, he looked good. He did a lot more running than maybe you would want, but he's a really good athlete. I think the game was moving too fast. He hasn't played a lot of snaps. He might not be really ready. That Houston game, you got Connor Weigman. In fact, there was a report about the incredible pass that he threw to Amari Thomas. Go ahead and Google it. It came out today. There's an incredible pass that he threw to Amari Thomas in practice. I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but I might be taking the Houston Cougars against the spread, against the Red Raiders, that Friday night game. But the Red Raiders should be able to win enough. They should be able to go. They should get a decent enough seeding. A 5th or a 6th seed. Or a 7th seed. To win a first round game. But if they're not, if Will Hammond can't get it done, then the BYU Cougars, the Houston Cougars, the Utah Utes, the Kansas State Wildcats, who have a fantastic schedule, the Arizona Wildcats, TCU Horned Frogs. If Will Hammond cannot stay healthy, or if he can't get it done, there's somebody who's going to replace them. Again, the Big 12 conference champion gets an automatic berth in the playoffs. Big, big, important season for the Big 12. All right, let me get to the phone calls and Super Chats. Evo Badger is in the house once again. $5 holla. You see this, Ryan Willie? You see this Eva Badger? That is gold, baby. That is a gold. Greg the Freezer's pick are for entertainment purposes only. Gamble at your own risk. That is absolutely 100% true. Entertainment purposes only. Thank you, Ryan Willie, for reminding everybody on that. This is just for entertainment. Absolutely. However, no more no more Greg the Cooler. It's not going to happen this year. We are not going to play this music all year long. This music
I know you
gone.
told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday.
Yeah, that song is not going to be played this year. We used to play that song anytime I had a losing record against the spread, week in and week out. We heard a lot of it last year. In fact, people were begging and crying in the chat room, saying, get a different song in there. Get a different song in there, Greg. Or start winning, Greg. Unfortunately, I did not start winning. But this year, don't worry about it. That song is not going to be played. We got a $2 holler Christopher Hooter. Kiffin eats Buckeyes in his cornflakes at breakfast. Wow. Christopher Hooter is throwing an elbow in towards Columbus, Ohio. That would be an epic game. That would be an epic game. Now, Christopher Hooter, I am more optimistic on LSU than the consensus out there. I do believe in that team. I do believe in LSU. And I think we're going to see it right at the beginning. Sorry, Mama Duck, Clemson Tiger, LSU, and the Clemson Tigers. I think we're going to see it right off Jump Street. I think we're going to see the excellence of the LSU Tigers right off the bat. And I also think we're going to see Ole Miss. I don't want to give too many things away because it's Greg the Gold this year. But I think Ole Miss is going to come out with a strong start as well. I think Georgia is going to do enough. And then the Longhorns are going to win the SEC. I think those are your 4 SEC teams that make the playoffs. We've talked about it. We made our predictions. We've talked about the SEC in all these conferences. Once again, this is our SEC official order of finish prediction. And we got the Longhorns defeating the LSU Tigers in the championship game. In the Big 12, this is our official order of finish prediction. We got the Red Raiders playing the BYU Cougars. Oklahoma State, Utah, Houston, Kansas State, right at their heels. Big 12 champion, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And then the Big 10. This was our order of finish prediction. All 18 teams. The Final Four, USC, Indiana, Oregon, and the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes defeat the Oregon Ducks 38-33 in the Big 10 championship game. And then today, of course, we had our final college football playoff predictions. The Buckeyes beat the Longhorns in the national championship. And I guess that means, number one, the Buckeyes, as a Big Ten team, a Big Ten team wins the national championship 4 years in a row. However, an SEC team do get to the national championship game. So they kind of break that bad streak, that bad narrative. The Longhorns do make it into the national championship game. And a Big 12 team wins a playoff game. So kind of good news for everybody out there. Because that's the kind of guy I am. Greg the Gold, spreading good news all over the place. Except for those teams that just didn't quite make it in. The Louisville Cardinals, the Michigan Wolverines, the BYU Cougars, the Utah Utes, teams that just quite didn't make it in. Stormy Cyclone, really is a golden gopher until his picks. Greg is in placating mode. We will know how well Greg did by the end of the first weekend. And yes, that is true, Mama Duck. And we are going to have a big celebration. We are going to have gold stuff hanging all over the place. It's going to be a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. All right, let's get to your phone calls. You can talk about anything in college football that your heart desires. Super chats, again, if you give us a super chat, very kind super chat, the floor is yours. You can talk about anything you want to talk about. And the other comments I will pick and choose depending on the creative writing and how relative it is and how interesting it is. And if I disagree with you, you have a better chance of getting your comment read on the screen. So, the phone lines are open. Anybody wants to give us a call? Again, I'm taking these picks very seriously, ladies and gentlemen. Incredibly serious. I got my golden uniform on, my golden swag on. Buckeyes, national champions over the Longhorns.
Call from
Fred.
Fred, thank you for calling. I do appreciate it. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Craig. My first thought as you were going through all those, the one I'm not sure of at all was I can't see Texas beating Miami.
Okay.
Now, I don't think Miami is regressing from last year, and they
No.
looked awful good last year.
Yes. Miami is going to be, they're going to be lethal. And if they beat the Longhorns, they got a shot at it. I mean, in my mind, it's the Buckeyes, the Longhorns, and the Hurricanes. I think they're a tier above everybody else.
Well, I would agree with that. I guess that's my opinion too. But it's kind of like, to me, Texas really hasn't shown me that they can, go that far yet.
Yeah.
What is it in their past few years that makes you think, that they are really one of the top three?
Okay, so here's the thing. Arch Manning, I was the conductor on the Arch Manning hype train at the beginning of last year.
I remember that.
And because the train went off the rails, we had to have a big crew, a construction crew, and people. They had to squeeze out the fat guy from Minnesota out of the conductors, where the guy who. So they had to squeeze me out of there, airlifted me to a hospital because the train went off the tracks. But if you noticed, right after I was not the conductor of the Arch Manning hype train anymore, he started to develop the results on the football field. He started to get it. Now,
well, then let me ask you this: what do you think you're picking them to get into the championship game is going to do to them?
I think that's only going to help them because I'm great to gold this year.
Okay.
And here, people talk about Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman is a great wide receiver. He did not quite have the quarterback at Auburn, so he could show off his talent. That viral tape of Cam Coleman making a one-handed catch during Texas camp. Cam Coleman this, Cam Coleman that. Yeah, Cam Coleman is outstanding. But Arch Manning is I think Arch Manning is a type. The Longhorns getting Raleek Brown, the transfer from Arizona State, and Hollywood Smothers, the running back from North Carolina State. Arch Manning is going to use these guys. He's going to use these dudes. Now, the Longhorns have had running back injuries in the last few years. So if they stay healthy, this Longhorn offense, I think, is going to be a machine. And the defense is really, really good. So I think those two, being able to get both those running backs made it to, I can't keep the Longhorns out of the championship game. Can't do it.
Okay, well, you've done a lot more research than I have on their team this year, so I'm going to follow you. I'm not going to bet because of you, but I'm going to believe. I'm going to believe you know what you're talking about.
Oh, sure.
My second thought was you haven't met many people in Alabama happy. Do you see them getting closer, or they're just out of the picture these days?
So with Alabama, that running game last year was brutal, and they've got the same running backs. And the offensive line, what I've heard isn't we don't know where the improvement is going to come from, and you're going from Ty Simpson to a Keelan Russell who hasn't played. And Austin Mack has been with Kalen DeBoer. I think this is his fourth year. I could be wrong. Maybe it's his third. I think it's his fourth year. Austin Mack has been with Kalen DeBoer for 4 years. In Washington, then to Alabama, and he hasn't played. It doesn't mean he's not any good. It's just they're not. I don't think. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think they're going to get the quarterback production. The production out of the quarterback position this year to match what they got last year. So I don't see it. I don't see it with Alabama this year. Go ahead.
Does that cause Kalen DeBoer any heartburn from the fans?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Now the wild card is Keelan Russell. Kalen DeBoer likes his quarterback to chuck it long. He wants the deep threat quarterbacks. And that's what he got at Washington. He's not had that at Alabama. Now he may have it with Keelan Russell. And so he's the big wild card. And I don't know if it's going to be Keelan Russell or Austin Mack to begin the season. I got to think it's going to be Keelan Russell sooner rather than later. So he's the wild card. If he steps up and has an incredible first-year starting quarterback, then, Alabama might be able to flip the switch and get to the playoffs. But I'm going to go and bet against it.
Okay. Texas Tech. I don't think a victory over a group of 6 team is really going to deliver much credibility yet to the Big 12. They need something more. So if they can win that second round game, that would mean something. But beating, in your case, New Mexico, wouldn't they do that in their sleep?
I guess a lot of people won't give them credit, but I will because if they get to the 5th seed, they've earned that right to play the 12th seed, So I'm not gonna punish the Red Raiders for having such a great regular season that they got the 5th seed. But this New Mexico team, with the returning running back, great running back, quarterback, the secondary, they're all coming back. The defense is great. The head coach is fan. The head coach is going to be a head coach of a Big Ten team probably next year, Mr. Jason Eck. New Mexico is not going to be. I'm more confident about New Mexico than anything else I've said tonight. I think New Mexico is absolutely going to roll.
Well, I'm glad you put them on my radar because I hadn't even thought about them, but I'm going to check them out now. Doggone it.
Yeah.
Final thought for me. Lane Kiffin is probably the most. Is a situation where you could have him not making the playoffs at all, or some people believe he could go maybe to the finals. He just carries that. He could go either direction. Now, and I don't know how you could foresee this, but say he does good this year, do you think he's in LSU for the long run, even if Alabama opens up?
Oh, jeez.
That's my first thought.
Um,
He's got to settle down somewhere, doesn't he? LSU's a great school for him to settle down if he will.
yeah, I think he's gonna be at LSU for a while. I don't. Boy.
However you would bet on that when you tell me, and I'll believe it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his perception would be of the Alabama job going forward.
Right.
So that is.
There's a lot of people that I'm hearing say Alabama's not the team of Alabama with their former coach. This is a different Alabama team, so don't go there if you're thinking, what they were all those years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think LSU has the potential to continue to be a really good team.
Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a place where Lane Kiffin might want to go to if things are pretty successful at LSU, but he hasn't won the national championship, something like that.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, I'm inspired by your gold today.
Yes.
And I believe in you.
I know you do, sir. I know you do.
Let's get the first 2 weeks of wins, and then I think you'll be on a roll.
Yes. I need to start out hot, because if I start out cold, things are going to collapse around here.
Can you imagine the kind of comments you're going to get from your friends if you
Yes.
start out cold?
Bring on the
It's
smoke.
wonderful how it's just really wonderful how each year you can have a bad year, but then the next year you really believe.
Yes.
And I think this might be your year.
Well, it's my 5th year, and the first 4 were horrible. So, well, last year was my best year. Last year I went 92 and 94.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty darn close.
And the PATC Einsteins went 92 and 94. We had the same record. But what's crazy about last year is I was hovering around 500 for most of it, but I could never get over it. It was like I did not want to have success.
It had to be frustrating because if you could just get over that hump, I just think you're going to take off.
Yeah.
All right. Well, looking forward to the season with you, Greg. You take care.
I appreciate it, sir. Thanks for the call.
Bye-bye.
Beautiful. Beautiful. We've got a super chat from Mama Duck Clemson Tiger 10. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Call from
This is Mike from We Live for Saturday.
Ooh, yes, yes. Mike, hold on. Can you hold on for a moment, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it. We got a $10 holler from Mama Duck Clemson Tiger. Holy smokes. CLEMSONTIGERS. Fight Tigers, fight Tigers, fight, fight, fight. Mama Dog Clemson Tiger, $10. Dollar holla. Thank you so very much. I appreciate your incredible generosity. Thank you for all your help, Mama Duck, Clemson Tiger. You bring a sense of class here at this in the PATC chat room. You also bring a sense of class, Mama Duck, when you join those heathens, those college football mafia show. They need you in that chat room. Thank you, Mama Duck, Clemson Tiger. Thank you so very much for your generosity. I very much appreciate it. And before we go to Golden Gopher Mike, yes, Golden Gopher Mike, I said it, Golden Gopher Mike. The LSU Tigers, it's not just Sam Leavitt, right? The great. Now, you guys know I love Sam Leavitt. I talked about it when he was a third-string quarterback at Michigan State. You remember, Mike, when Sam Leavitt went in against the Gophers?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, we were killing we killed Michigan State.
Yeah, no, we were winning, but he was. You could tell he had something.
You could tell he came in as a third string, and he was like, "Whoa!" The Gophers could not stop him. Why wasn't Michigan State playing this guy? So when he transferred to Arizona State, I said, "Look out for this guy." Unfortunately, I still predicted Arizona State to finish last in the Big 12 that year, but we won't talk about that. But anyway, it's not just Sam Leavitt. I did a show a couple of nights ago. I predicted Jace Brown to get over 1,000 yards receiving. Great wide receiver of Kansas State, but he's got a quarterback who's going to get him the ball more consistently. Sam Leavitt. And they've got that offensive tackle from Colorado. I can't remember his name. Who's going to protect Seton. He's going to protect Sam Leavitt. And again, LSU is another team in the SEC, along with Georgia, along with Alabama, that got to get the running game going. And I think they're going to. They got Harlan Berry and Caden Durham. And I think with Sam Leavitt there, I think that offense, Jace Brown, and of course Lane Kiffin, I think the LSU Tigers offense is going to be better than it has been for years. Thank you, Golden Gopher Mike, for calling. The floor is yours. What do you got to say, sir?
All right, two things. On a national level, I agree with you that I think the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to be the national champion. So I want to know, on a high level, what kind of pressure does that put on Dan Lanning? Because Dan Lanning should win the national title this year. He's got Dante Moore back. He's got everything in the portal. He's got all the experience, all the talent, and the quarterback who could have been the number 2 pick in the draft last year. And Dan Lanning should win. So what happens to him if he doesn't win a national title this year? Do you think anything, or do you think he just rolls on, or does it start to hurt him a little bit, the way he's perceived? And then secondly, what is this you're saying about Wisconsin offensive line injuries? Because I'm interested. You said somebody's out for the year potentially?
Their left tackle.
Did I mishear that?
Their left tackle, I think his name is Haywood.
Okay.
Any Badger fan in the chat room, let me know. Haywood, who was okay. So they got this. Their left tackle, this Haywood guy, who's supposed to have all this incredible talent, supposed to be an NFL draft pick one of these years.
Right.
Last year he got injured.
Right.
Now this year he's supposed to be their stud left tackle. And now he just got injured yesterday or the day before, and they ruled him out. They ruled him out for the season.
Oh boy, that's rough.
So Google it. I think his name is Haywood. And then their left guard, I want to say his name is like Marcellus or something. I don't think he's out for the season, but he hasn't practiced yet. And he got injured in the spring. And he's their starting left guard. So the starting left side of the offensive line is, not doing all that good.
And they got to start off against the Irish.
And Colton Joseph, God bless him, might not even survive that game. So,
yeah.
What was your first question? I don't think, perception-wise, it might change on Dan Lanning a bit, but I don't think they're not going to replace him. I mean,
No. They're not going to replace him. But
Yeah.
right now, I'd say his stock is extremely high. I'm
Yes.
wondering if he say misses the Big Ten title game and loses in the first round of the playoff or something like that. With Dante Moore, does that hurt him?
Okay,
Yeah,
I think what has hurt him is the way they've lost. They got blown out by the Buckeyes. They got blown out by Indiana, correct?
Right. Yeah.
So I think, first of all, Oregon, I do not have them on the first tier, but they're safely in the second tier, along with Notre Dame. I've got the Buckeyes, the LSU. I got the Buckeyes, the Longhorns, the Hurricanes on the first tier. My second tier starts with Notre Dame and Oregon. I think it's important if Oregon loses because they lost to another great team. I think it would be incredibly unfortunate if Oregon loses to Miami, to the Longhorns, to the Buckeyes, to the Irish, because I think it's going to take somebody of that ilk to beat the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
I think it would be unfortunate for Dan Lanning if the Oregon Ducks lose that game because of something that Dan Lanning did. He makes me nervous because he does some wild stuff out there.
Yeah, he does some crazy stuff. He's got the crazy eye.
Yeah.
So he's thinking about doing it.
And his decision making can get a little bit out there, which most of the time worked because his team is so dominant. So that gets me a little nervous, to be honest with you. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think Dan Lanning's gonna continue to be a top coach, but I think there's a difference between being considered one of the best, potentially the best coach in the sport, and being considered a top 10 coach.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I think he's considered one of the best coaches in the sport. I think if they don't do it this year, I think he's going to drop down a tier. He'll still be, way up there, but I don't think he'll be in the Ryan Day, Signetti tier anymore. You know what I mean?
Yes. Now, let me ask you a question here. I just put on my golden shades.
Okay.
Because it's getting a little bright in here because there's a superstar rising in Minneapolis. He's number 84, and I've tried to tell the PATC Einsteins about this gentleman. I've told them do not forget the name, but I don't think the PATC Einsteins are listening to me. So, Golden Gopher Mike, would you please tell the audience about this man named Hayden Mohr?
I mean, the thing about Hayden Mohr is that he looks like an you know what he looks like? He looks like the way he moves, the way he attacks the ball, his size, just his speed. He looks like he plays for Ohio State.
Yes.
That's what he looks like to me.
And he might be playing for Ohio State next year.
No, don't say that. No, don't say that. It's culture. It's about the culture. We keep we can pay guys too.
Yeah, he might be playing for the Buckeyes or the Ducks next year. Hayden Mohr is a wide receiver, a mid-third 3-star out of Florida. He was ranked 23rd in the Gophers class, so he was not even one of the top 20 players ranked, right?
Nope. Right, exactly.
And he came into spring football.
True diamond in the rough, like Rashad Bateman was before, late in his recruitment when we picked up steam.
So Hayden Mohr, ladies and gentlemen, he goes into spring football camp and right away, bam, he is playing at fast motion. He's doing everything correct. He's picking up the playbook. He's asking the questions. He's watching film. He does everything in fast motion. He dominates the spring football game, right? I mean,
yep.
He dominated.
Oh, yeah, I was there. It was great.
Yep. And now, Mike, you have seen him in practice, and now it sounds like nothing is stopping him in the month of August. Go ahead and talk about him.
No, I mean, he's a really special player. I don't think there aren't a lot of guys who have that kind of just physical, stature and are able to jump and run like that. And the fact that he can make it all look easy when he attacks the ball just makes you think that the sky is the limit for this guy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about him. And I'll be honest, I'm pretty bullish, especially now after seeing practice. I'm pretty bullish on Jalen Smith, too.
Yeah. Now, is he stronger, though? Did he bulk up?
Yeah, I thought he looked stronger in how he was running his routes, but you're right, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Can he handle press coverage and not be bumped up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think if he can, though, he's a guy who can make plays down the field, who can open up the defense a little bit. I think the Gophers, but the thing that really stuck out at practice, I'll tell you, Greg, was Thomas at running back.
Yeah, I did.
I mean, he looked like the best backup running back we've had in quite some time. He looks like the real deal.
I did read your comments on him, and you can kind of tell. If you read Ryan Burns long enough, right?
Yep.
You can he sort of has a certain tale to him. Like, you can kind of pick up what he's laying down.
Yep, absolutely.
And he's laying it down heavily on JT Thomas. So, going to be an interesting year, sir.
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's we got a chance to win 4 rivalry trophies this year, and I think we really have a chance to win all of those games.
Yeah. I mean, it's so much better to have going into a season with a Drake Lindsay who's got 1 full year under him.
Exactly. He's a talent we haven't had since Adam Weber, before Jed Fish broke him. Yeah. Which I'm still angry with Jed Fish about, actually.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else, sir?
No, that'll do it. But row the boat, Sky U Mog, go Gophers, and always a pleasure, my man. Enjoy
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you, Golden Gopher Mike. Whoops. All right. We are done with Golden Gopher propaganda talk, unless you want to hear more of it. My dad rocks the shades. He got them for free from the eye doctor. These are gold. These are golden. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
From
Evil Badger.
Evil Badger is on the line. We've been talking Golden Gopher propaganda. We talked about the issues on the left side of the offensive line at Wisconsin. And now comes the Evil Badger. The floor is yours.
Hey, Greg, thanks for taking my call.
You got it, buddy.
I have not seen a story about Eagle's injury, so I don't know where you've seen that. He missed the entire year last year, but I have not heard anything about this year.
Okay, I'm going to show you here. Well, I can't show that because that's against Sports Illustrated, Wisconsin Badgers. Let's take a look. August 9th, 2026. Today is August 10th. All right, so this was yesterday. Updating Wisconsin's football's right tackle situation with Kevin Haywood injured. The Badgers are going down an all too familiar road at tackle in fall camp. This is from Seamus Rower, August 9th, yesterday. The Badgers are in something of a bind along their offensive line early in the fall camp. Nothing catastrophic has happened yet. We're not quite at DEFCON 1 like we were last season when projected starting left tackle Kevin Haywood tore his ACL in spring camp, setting off a chain reaction of shifts and adjustments in the offensive trenches that were a big culprit in the doom of Wisconsin offense. Still, the Badgers are currently down 2 starters on the right side of their offensive line. Guard Emerson Mandel, okay, it was Mandel, I couldn't remember his name, and tackle Kevin Haywood. Mandel underwent surgery on his right foot midway through spring camp and has yet to participate this fall. But Haywood, the Badgers' prize tackle, who many consider to be the team's best NFL prospect, is dealing with an ailment of his own. The lineman sustained an injury on Friday's practice, the second session of the fall camp, and he has yet to practice since. Now, since that report, and let me see if I can find I'm going to see if hold on. I'm hoping I can find this. No. Hold on, sir. Evil Badger. Hold on. Okay, maybe I got this wrong here because somebody reported that he was out for the year because now they're saying he's not out for the 2026 season. Let me show you this. But he did suffer a lower body injury August 7th. All right. Well, he's out right now. Maybe he's not out for the season. But a couple of injuries at the left side of the line of scrimmage. I apologize. I thought I saw a report that he was out for the season. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that after this live show. But anyways, Ryan Willie, it's August camp.
Thinking there, Greg?
Huh?
Wishful thinking there, Greg?
I did see the report. I'm going to find it for you, and I will showcase it to you tomorrow on the live show. However, there are injuries to the left side of the starting lineup on the old line, and you're going to be playing Notre Dame pretty soon, Ryan Willie.
27 days away.
Yes, sir.
But the reason why I called
Yes, sir.
is because, okay, I'll make a prediction for the Natty this year. It will be Ohio State versus Miami, a rematch of 2001. And like I said in the past, and I do declare was that the SEC will not have a team in the national championship for a fourth straight season.
Yeah, I know you did make that prediction. I think you have that in our I Do Declare competition, right?
Yeah, and Ohio State will beat Miami. Sorry, Rock and Rant. But
okay.
I believe they will beat them by double digits in the national championship game.
Wow. So we agree on the Buckeyes then.
We agree on the Buckeyes, but it will not be Texas playing them.
Okay.
It will be Miami.
All right. What about the Oregon Ducks?
Maybe they'll reach the semifinals, but that's it. And sorry, Indiana, you'll probably you'll reach the quarterfinals and it'll end there.
Okay. All right.
And okay, so the Big Ten will have 5 teams. SEC will have 3.
Wow.
They will
5
have
teams. What are those
Okay,
5 teams again?
Ohio State, Penn State,
Ooh.
Indiana, Oregon, and Indiana, Penn
USC.
State. USC.
You got Penn State in there, huh? Well, they got a schedule that they can make it work. I don't think they quite. Penn State is an interest. Penn State reminds me of the ACC's North Carolina State. I don't think the Penn State's talent level is at the level of top 5 or 6 of the Big Ten. But they do have a schedule. Matt Campbell, maybe they can make it work. Maybe they can squeeze in there. I do think Matt Campbell is going to be successful at Penn State. I think the Nittany Lion fans are going to have a lot of fun times with him. I think this year they're a little down. But they do have a schedule that could work for them.
Okay, and I have Texas, Georgia, and LSU as the 3 SEC teams. But I do have one other question about the future playoff format.
Yeah.
I personally think ESPN will find a way to have Notre Dame in any, like if they went to 16 teams, they'll make exceptions for Notre Dame. If they went to 20 teams, they'll make exceptions for Notre Dame. Even though it says only a 14-team playoff that are guaranteed. I just think that ESPN will bow to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't think playoff access is going to be taken away from Notre Dame. It would have been interesting to see what they would have done with Notre Dame if they would have done this 20-team college football playoffs with the 8, the 12 goes in, and then you have the 4 playing games among the 4 power conferences. It would have been interesting to see what they would have done with Notre Dame, but I don't think it doesn't sound like that's getting any traction. Besides that, I think Notre Dame is going to be treated, they're going to have their playoff access. So,
and getting back to the Badgers and their fall camp.
Yes.
I just think they're going to let the, Kevin Haywood and Mandela just take it easy until the start of the season and make sure they're ready for Notre Dame. Sorry, Mike, from We Go for Saturday, and sorry, Greg, but Minnesota will not win the Axe this year. It will be Wisconsin. They will not win the Little Brown Jug. It will continue to be Michigan. They will not win the Floyd of Rosedale. It will be Iowa. So sorry, but
let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. What don't you like about my beloved Gold, other than the fact that the Golden Gophers? You don't like Drake Lindsay? You don't like Darius Taylor? You don't like Anthony Smith, the great defensive end? You don't like Greg Johnson, first team All-American left guard? What don't you like about the beloved Minnesota Golden Gopher team for this year in 2026?
Well, Greg, this 50-something evil badger has always not liked Minnesota.
I get that, but I'm not okay. You don't have any love for the Golden Gophers, but what don't you like about this particular team? Why do you think they're going to lose all? I get I understand that you're rooting against the Golden Gophers, but why do you think they're going to lose all these games?
Because I don't think Drake Lindsay is that great a quarterback.
I can't wait. I
All
can't.
right.
You
That's all I got.
Moen, Ryan Willie, all of you non-believers out there, I cannot wait till Drake Lindsay just throws dimes all over the place. Ryan Willie, I appreciate your phone call, sir.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you,
All
my
right,
friend.
Bye.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Beautiful. Ryan Willie, the legendary PATC. I do have to give Ryan Willie credit. I was looking around and I did see it on a graphic that it said Kevin Haywood out for the year. Somebody put up 4 bullet points of Big Ten information in camp. Maybe that person pressed the trigger, like saw that he got injured and put it out there, but it's not. It doesn't sound like Haywood is out for the season. So my apologies to the Badger fans out there and to Ryan Willie. My apology. It looks like I got that wrong. But I did read that somewhere. I'm going to find that. We've got a $10 holler from the man himself, Donnie McNerney. Now, you can understand, look, Donnie believes. Donnie believes in Greg the Gold. Does everybody understand Donnie here? Kenneth Maynard, Stormy Cyclone, Mama Duck, BYU football. Donnie McNerney is very kindly gives a $10 holler super chat. Hey, y'all, don't forget to click the like button. Go Bucks. Donnie's not scared of Greg the Gold. Donnie's got no fear. He knows that Greg the Gold's not coming back this year. I predicted the Buckeyes to win the Big Ten championship with a very difficult schedule. I predict the Buckeyes to win the national championship. The only thing that I'm betting, the only thing I'm going against the Buckeyes this year is they're going to lose the first game against the Longhorns. That's it. Everything else comes to Buckeye. Is Donnie running? Is Donnie saying, no, don't say that, great. Don't wait. Now you ruined our season. Donnie believes. Donnie believes. I think you LSU Tiger fans, I've got LSU doing better than basically anybody else. I think LSU Tiger fans, you got to start believing. You New Mexico Lobo fans out there, you got to believe in Greg the Gold. I've got you going to the playoffs. Big 12, you got to believe because I got the Red Raiders winning a playoff game. SEC, you got to believe because I got a team in the SEC going to the national championship game. It's time to believe in Greg the Gold. Even Mama Duck Clemson Tiger. Because I think Tate Reynolds is going to be the starting quarterback midway through the season. And I think you might have your new superstar. So I got good news for everybody. Good news for everybody. It's kind of easy not to be scared when you're a Buckeye football fan. Oh, a lot of them are rooting, I get your point, Mr. Spangler, but a lot of them are rooting against, they do not want me to pick them to win it all. But Donnie is not afraid. Donnie is not afraid. Okay, I do want to thank, still got time for a couple more phone calls here. Oh, no. Oh, no. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Non-college football related. Oh, man. Beloved Big Bear Eagle Jackie dies after prolonged illness, wildlife officials say. For those who do not know who Jackie is, if you go on YouTube, you can watch these eagles' nests, and you can watch them yearly. Big Bear Eagle Jackie, she lived in California. I forget. My wife watched Jackie for many years, and you know they got the cameras around the nest, and you can watch them 24/7. Now, of course, they do take off at some point after they have their eaglets, whatever they call them, after they hatch and after they fly away and take care of themselves. And then they come back, and I don't know what month Jackie comes back in, but the female eagle starts putting wood. No, the male eagle starts putting wood around the nest, sticks of wood. It's a whole thing that they go through every single year, and the wife has been watching Jackie for years. I've sat there and watched Jackie, and I think she got attacked by a younger female eagle, and now that younger female eagle is getting it on with her with Jackie's husband, and that's what happens in the wild. So they did pick her up after she got injured, and they were hoping that they were going to be able to get her healthy again, but Jackie dies. That is terrible news. She's an older eagle. She's had many, many, many eaglets. So she did a wonderful job, had a wonderful life. Jackie, rest in paradise. That's tough. Okay. It looks like the phone calls are over, so I'll shut that off. I'll give a little bit more time for comments. I do want to thank Daryl Mama Duck. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I do want to thank Hammer Hennison, Eva Badger, the other Gygax, Coy, Christopher Hooter, Kenneth Manor, Eva Badger, Mama Duck, Clemson Tiger, and Donnie McNerney for your generosity. I do very much appreciate it. Thank you for your kindness, helping us keep the lights on and to grow the channel. Thank you very kindly. I hope they blast on Eagle's wings at Jackie's funeral. All right. I think we'll lock it up. I do want to thank everybody for joining us. We did our final college football playoff predictions tonight. And Greg the Gold has officially arrived. Well, maybe not officially, because I gotta have a winning record in week 1 to officially arrive. But I think the time has finally come. For those who missed it, we got the Buckeyes winning it all over the Texas Longhorns in the national championship. Now, again, for those who are just joining us or want to make more comments, put down your comments under the video in the description box, under the video in the chat room. And I read the comments at some point, so you can keep commenting if you want to. We are going to be coming back here live tomorrow on August 11th. A couple of stories percolating, poking and prodding. We're not ready to unveil it yet. I think Tomorrow's live show might be, now tonight's show was incredibly interesting because it was Greg the Gold. But tomorrow's show is going to be probably a little bit more serious as we talk college football. I hope you join us. Before you leave us, please smash the like button. Smash that like button. It helps us so much here at College Football Peek Around the Corner. Subscribe and get yourself notified. Ring the notification bell. Thank you all. Please you all take great care of each other. God, family. Golden Gophers.